Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So that was the first of three pieces performed by the Kemal Dance Ensemble as they jet off to Jamaica to showcase all that they have to offer. Help me welcome David Comissiong, who of course is Barbados ambassador to CARICOM, I like to say, and beyond. And joining us today we have Aisha Comissiong, who's a tutor and choreographer at UE KPhil. And we're also joined by Jianna, Fagon, who is a member of the dance ensemble. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
I have to say more of a welcome to you ladies than the kind sir, because he's more or less a part of the show now. I mean, he's here every week as a part of what we do. So it's beautiful to show this side of things, especially considering, all that's been going on across the region. It's important to double back and kind of smell the flowers, proverbially, and otherwise when we look at how we are exporting or sharing things across the region, it also includes cultural exchange.
Yes, I accompanied these young people to Jamaica for the Jamaica Dance Umbrella Festival, Jamaica's premier dance festival. And I went with them because what they are doing is central to Caribbean integration. It's central to us developing the single market and single economy. The single market and the economy is all about creating one domestic space. So that one domestic space must not only be for manufacturers and makers of products, but also for artists, that dancers could see the entire Caribbean community as their space to travel, to perform, to interact with their peers. And so I really feel very proud about the UE KPhil Campus Dance Ensemble, because they have taken up this mission. Last year they were in Trinidad at the Cocoa Festival, this year in Jamaica, and this is really CARICOM in action.
All right, excellent. I love that CARICOM in action. I should talk to me about what it means to be able to kind of freely move and work and share all that you do, not only here, but across the region.
For me personally, it was a full circle moment. For one, I didn't just study in Barbados, but I studied in Jamaica. It was a full circle moment for me to take my students with me, for them to be exposed to the talent level in Jamaica, not just the dancers, the choreographers, but also the culture. It's one thing to read about it. It's one thing for me to teach them about it. It's another thing for them to be able to immerse themselves in it, to have that first-hand experience. I know that was a trip that they're going to take with them from now on beyond and take into beyond.
Yeah, and no better face to tell us about it than you, Gianna. So what was that experience like for you to be able to not only travel with your teacher or with one of your teachers, but to be able to share in that way?
That experience for me overall was very exhilarating because I actually was born there, but I grew up here, so it was good to be back home. But that trip with specifically my teacher and my other members of the ensemble, I wouldn't have it any other way with any other persons because they're my family to me. So with them and that experience, it was just so fun and eye-opening, especially because some of us have read about these dancers in Jamaica, especially from the company Le Caco by Dr. Lantonette Steins, and to just see them on stage in real life is just like an experience that you just wouldn't forget. It's just an image that you're just going to engrave in your mind, and it actually motivates us to push further in our career. We want to learn new things, learn new cultures, just experiment with what we're given in the because we have this flavor as well, not only in Barbados, but in so many other countries. So it's just so great to just different things. Dance is so open.
Yeah, from where I always see the various little nuances that you mentioned, the little flavor from each island kind of coming into play that's a little different. Before we go back to the ambassador, for you, what's it like to be able to decide what you're going with? Because I would imagine this is major as well. 3 pieces, but here I am looking at this, very heavy drums featured in it, but somehow it seems like a trip to the blues and a bit of, you know, some contemporary music and so on as well.
I wouldn't say it was very difficult in that I think with KFO what we're doing, we're establishing our voice, one as a faculty, but two, as an ensemble, we're establishing how we want Barbados to receive us, how we want the region to receive us. So in particular, the works that were selected, we were inspired by work by, for example, Barbadian literary icon Kemal. So one of the pieces actually takes inspiration from his poem, Dies Irae. Then we have another piece that's performed to Martin Carter's I Come from the Nigger Yard, Guyanese poet. Then we have One Flies All Soar, which takes its inspiration from Yui's maxim, one blackbird flies, we all soar. So these were three very distinct works, but to me, critical to not just the Caribbean artscape, but also to what UE in and of itself represents as a regional institution. So we're not only representing Barbados when we step out there, but we are representing the regional institution that UE is, and we're drawing inspiration from Guyana, Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, and beyond. So it was easy to make that decision.
Good stuff. Certainly when you share how you're incorporating all of these different elements from across the region, it makes it that much easier to understand how you can make your selections. And then, of course, the tie-in, how all of this is helping, like you said, to foster regional integration and the easy movement of people across the region. But the arts have always played a role across disciplines. It's always been central in us kind of making those linkages.
No, the arts are critical. I mean, what is life without the arts? And you know, the arts entertain us, but they also go beyond entertainment to help a society to look at issues and problems and to work through them and to provide solutions and to inspire society, you know, to evolve to higher levels. So the arts are critical to all that we are. That first piece that we heard, that's the one flies all soar. That is like the theme of the Cave Hill campus. And you're quite right when you said you heard the drums, and because I think what they were trying to do with that piece is to express the spirit of the University of the West Indies. This is who we are. And what I love about the dance ensemble is that they are consciously trying to, as Aisha said, to develop their own voice. And so the pieces that they develop come out of our culture. So they drawing inspiration from the Kamals and the Martin Carters. And I must tell you that Jamaica probably has the most developed dance culture in CARICOM. And they went to Jamaica's premier dance festival and held their own. In fact, I would say they performed on 3 nights of the festival, and on every night, I would say their performance was in the top, maybe the top 3, maybe the top 3 on each night. So it says a lot for what we are doing here at the KFIL campus and the standard that they have already attained. And I think that they're really poised to go anywhere,
Wonderful. Hard taskmaster, Jianna. So making that almost top 3 every night of the performances must mean a great deal to you.
Yes, definitely, because to even just be on stage with all of these Jamaican dancers that we've heard about and we've watched, and we're like, oh wow, that's so good. We were so nervous. We were like, we're gonna dance with them. We're gonna dance right beside them. So to just feel that and hear that praise, especially from other people as well, that's such a big accomplishment for all of us.
All right, so Jianna is going to leave us, and when we come back, Kemal Marshall, another dancer, another part of the ensemble, he's going to be here with us on Morning Barbados, so stay tuned.
And when the sun goes down, I'll be so glad when the sun goes down.
When the sun goes down,
Let's leave it, but
I
wanna lie down.
but I wanna lie down.
Let's leave it, but
I
wanna lie down.
but I wanna lie down.
I wanna lie down.
Yeah,
I wanna lie down.
I wanna lie down.
I ain't all that's leaving, but I wanna lie down.
I come from the nigger yard of yesterday, leaping from the oppressor's hate and the scorn of myself. I come to the world with scars upon my soul, wounds on my body, fury in my hands. I turn to the histories of men and the lives of the peoples. I examine the shower of sparks, the wealth of the dreams. I am pleased with the glories and sad with the sorrows, rich with the riches, poor with the loss. From the nigger yard of yesterday, I come with my burden. To the world of tomorrow, I turn with my strength.
Aisha was giving me some subtle hints. Does the voice sound familiar? Yeah, so, you had an opportunity to perform as well. You were part of the performance, and maybe that's what, guided your top 3. I'm kidding. But it's wonderful that we're able to engage in this way. I mean, bringing history off the pages, and we talked about this earlier, and to be able to express it in this way must mean a great deal.
Yes, and we must do ourselves. We cannot be just some pale copy of, somebody else. Whatever we do, we must have the stamp of our own culture, our history, our heritage, our identity. And when we do that, that is when we're going to impress the world, because we will be projecting something that is unique. So Aisha had approached me about a year ago. I think it was during History Month. They were asked to do a piece to a Caribbean poem. She selected I Come From the Nigger Yard and asked me to do the recitation. So that piece had its genesis all last year during History Month. And yes, and I think that piece really contributed a lot to the festival in Jamaica, because
You read it.
Well, not just that I read it, but you were presenting a classic Caribbean
sure.
poem. I come from the nigger. Yeah, that's
yeah.
one of the iconic poems of the
Sure,
Caribbean.
I'm being silly, but
Yeah.
absolutely, I totally agree. Now we're joined by Kemal Marshall. Again, no stranger to Morning Barbados. He's been on before as one of our exceptional youth. So talk to us about this experience, 3 days of dance, doing what you love, really.
Wow, it was truly an amazing experience. Not just because we're dancing, but we were dancing as a collective, dancing with our brothers and sisters, and being able to explore Jamaica. Not only, I was trying to say, not only what Jamaica is like as a city or as a country, but what it's like culturally. So we got to explore different things. I feel as we're rambling and all over the place. We got to explore different things, and we got to experience what it was like to be a Jamaican student when we went to Edna Manley, and we got to perform on the stage and share the stage with the other company dancers, as Jianna said. So it was truly exciting,
And I
truly
can see that you had a great
nerve-wracking.
time.
Did I?
You know, you
Yes, I did.
absolutely were not rambling. Yeah, but Aisha, why this particular piece? I know we talked briefly about kind of spreading it across the region, but talk to me about the process of bringing it together and then saying, you know, I want this piece of poetry to be, you know, a part of this.
Well, for one, that's a poem that my father introduces to us children. I know that people be kind of surprised, but the poem "I Come from the Nigger Yard" really carries us through the heroic Black struggle. You know, it starts at the transatlantic slave trade per se, the pre-emancipation days. We come through emancipation, we reach independence, and it ends with that hope for the future and where we're going to go as a race and as a people. So that poem stuck with me from since I was like in primary school. And so when I was tasked with creating a piece on the dance ensemble, I said, I want to interpret this. And when we first performed it, it was actually World Poetry Day. We performed it at ABCCI. We were able to hold the audience's attention for 10 minutes. Nothing. You could hear a pin drop. And when the dancers finish with an exhale. You know, they've been through this struggle through the years, and they finish with this exhale. The audience just went, wow. And they, erupted into applause. So when we were asked what were we taking to Jamaica, I felt like this was a very important piece to take. One, yes, is the premier dance festival in Jamaica. You get all the amazing companies, but you also get a lot of abstract work. This was kind of, it was direct in your face, not just in terms of movement and interpretation, but in terms of the words and the interpretation of the dancers and how they expressed the piece. And I felt as if we brought that, not only would we walk away kind of cemented in the minds of the audience, but the message in and of itself, I don't think the audience could leave without taking that message with them. And I think that was important for us to do, to not just cement ourselves in their minds, but also to cement the message of the piece and the poem.
Wonderful stuff. It's been great to share all that you've been able to do. We shared the first two, and we're going to take you out with checking out the final piece. Thanks for sharing, so that we remember all that we can do and must do as a region to continue the process of where we all started years ago and where we seem to be making incredible strides. So thank you, Ambassador.
My pleasure, and yes, and I really enjoy, we usually do the hard political talk, but it's so good to be able to come and talk dance and arts and culture.
Not talk, comma, dance, talk, dance, comma. So thank you so much for coming in. Aisha Comissiong, Kemal Marshall, Gianna Fagon, all a part of the Dance Ensemble. Believe it or not, the ambassador also was a part. He played a role too, so congratulations to you.
Morning, morning, morning.